Hello, I'm Simon Christie and welcome to Your 4x4. Now, for those who tuned in last week, you would have seen the first instalment of our trip to the Portland area. We covered a lot of the bush tracks and even explored some of the local caves. This week though, we're heading for the sand dunes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get stuck into it.
Your 4x4 is proudly presented by Berrima Diesel, ARB 4x4 accessories, Piranha off-road products, Kama rear end protection, wholesale automatic transmissions and Lightforce performance lighting.
Here I am, I'm waiting for your call again. It's been too long.
Hopefully no flat tyres.
We're down here at Portland today at the sand dunes. It's the first time for me here. So as you can see, prepared the car. I've got the sand flag on. We turn around, we've got our permits. I've let the tyres down to 20 pounds on this car. It's a nice sunny day. It's going to be a great day. I can't wait. Let's go.
So really looking forward to a great day. The sun's coming out. We're going to put our sand flags on. We've let our tyres down and can't wait to get out there to have a great time.
Hello, I'm Simon Christie and welcome to this week's episode of Your 4x4. Now, as promised, we are still in the Portland area and we've landed here this morning at the Portland Sand Dunes for a fantastic day of sand driving. Now, we have registered correctly with the Portland Sand Dune Buggy Club, a must-do. We've got our sand flags, we've let our tyres down and we're ready to go. So let's head a big episode of the Portland Sand Dunes.
Going up onto the sand dunes today, we entered through a narrow alleyway. It was really good, all the brush around us. There's a couple of wallabies running around everywhere. It was really good. You could see the evidence of the emus and the footprints and everything. I was unfortunately the first one to get stuck and I was lead car, so I held everybody up. Bit of a learning thing, a first time for me down here, but backed up, a bit of coaching. I got up the hill.
We've had a fantastic morning playing around in the dunes here, cruising around, generally having a bit of fun. The first section of it, we had to go through quite a narrow little road out to the beach, somewhat overgrown, very, very narrow. Some of the larger vehicles here, you could see their drivers cringing a little bit as the branches brushed against them, but we got through just fine.
The Portland Sand Dunes can be found just west of Portland along the Nelson Road and just within the Discovery Bay Coastal Park. The region is progressively managed with both the Portland Sand Dune Buggy Club and Parks Victoria working hand in hand. This unique setup allows Dune Buggy Club members and permit holders access to the dunes, but an open and direct track to the beach is still available for public access.
It opens up onto this absolutely amazing view. Blue water, blue skies, white sand. It's picture book stuff. We stopped there for a moment, watched the waves roll in. A couple of guys remarked that they should have brought their fishing rods.
The beach was beautiful. It's a lovely day. The surf was going. I've never seen so much blue in my life.
The actual scenery here is fantastic. Geez, I wish I'd brought my fishing gear. Some beautiful, nice gutters sitting along the beachfront. And then we wandered back up into the main sand dunes.
We had a good look around, had a bit of a photo shoot.
As beautiful as the beach was, we were here for some serious sand action, and it was time to move on. But would all of our crew make it off the beach? We'll find out shortly.
Now our entry this week comes from John Luft, and John has written, "I love my 4x4 because of the way it gets your heart racing when you come up a particularly hairy bit of frack." Now I certainly know what you mean, John.
For sending in that email, you've won yourself a Lightforce tack torch and stubby holder. All entries go into the running for the ARB twin motor portable compressor, the projector inverter, and the amazing Carryboy canopy worth $3,500. Thanks to all of the sponsors, and check the website for full details.
To truly see the road ahead, some drivers need ESP. Others simply choose Lightforce. Welcome to Lightforce country, where your safety is our vision.
Whether you've got ESP or not, Lightforce Performance Lighting is the smart choice.
The next generation of shock absorbers is here. Leading the way in 4x4 suspension development, Old Man Emu introduces the most advanced and finely tuned shock absorber on the market. Nitro Charger Sport incorporates a new valving system that instantly adapts to all terrain for an outstanding smooth ride and phenomenal control. Backed by a 3-year, 60,000 kilometre warranty, you can trust Nitro Charger Sport, built in Australia for Australian conditions.
Sometimes the front runners lead from behind, and when it comes to protecting your rear, Kmart are world leaders in rear end protection and tow bar combinations. The just released Prado 150 is no exception, with a bar that is designed to follow the car's lines and work with your sensors and factory camera. For the best in rear end protection, trust Kmart. It's a statement, not just an accessory, but the toughest of 4x4 trips. For more info, go to kmart.com.au.
We turned around and headed back into the dunes. Unfortunately, one of the vehicles did get stuck. It was some quite soft sand out there on the beach. Simon and Miranda had to winch him out. It took a little while. We all stopped and watched and cheered once he got out. Simon just advised him to drop his tyre pressures a little bit more than he already had, and from then on we had no dramas for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I was traveling through a wilderness of thorny trees and cut and stone. I feel dark and blistered and my mind was in some other zone. All around my memories, everything I'd ever done wrong.
Now, as you can see, we've got a stock standard Land Rover here. We've got a nice big red flag, iridescent red, so we can be seen out there in the dunes. We've got lights on the front. We've got our tyres let down. It's a stock standard TD5 Land Rover, diesel motor of course. We're running on this Mickey Thompson tyres. In the car we have the DP chipping And then throughout the car, something that might come in really, really handy a bit later on, a set of dual compressor pumps for pumping up our tyres a little later on. Radio, of course, is always very important as a safety issue, so it's a fairly compact little unit. We're looking forward to getting it out here. Bring it on.
Ship, the human harbor's full of human wrecks. If the secrets of your keep inside ain't so bad, just need the strength to carry on.
Safe recoveries are a part of any four-wheel drive trip, but there are some simple rules to follow. Always use quality rated gear. Use new or good condition straps, and only attach recovery gear to vehicle points that are rated and securely attached to the vehicle chassis. Clear communication is essential. Miranda and I have been performing recoveries together for well over 12 years, so we work well as a team. I do the dirty out of vehicle stuff and she drives. For some reason, this seems to suit her well.
We went up onto the sand dunes, we found a big bowl, like we were all playing in it, we were all charging around it and having a lot of fun. We spent quite some time in there and I couldn't get the smile off my face for quite some time.
We went into a large sand bowl up in the dunes, amazing sight, clear on all sides. You pop through this tiny little neck and then it just opens up into this clear yellow sand. Brilliant little spot, and we had a bit of a play around in there. Nobody had any dramas, we all had a lot of fun.
One of the keys to successful sand driving is momentum. Too much wheel speed can see you digging in, and not enough will see you bogging down. So experiment with gearing to get the right mix for your vehicle. And when you do, it can be some of the best four-wheeling you will ever experience. As you can see, the Portland Sand Dunes are extensive and there is plenty to explore. It's also good to know that within a few hours every trace of our visit will be wiped clean away by the howling coastal winds that sweep the area. But it's imperative to always steer clear of vegetated areas, be wary of other vehicles, drive at speeds respective of the terrain and your tyre pressures, and follow any relevant signage. Stick to these basic rules. Use common sense, and the dunes here, as you can see, are a whole lot of fun and well worth the 4-hour trip out of Melbourne.
I won't pretend that I'm not the one to blame, and I am sorry for this constant mess.
Coming up in the next story on our Portland Dunes adventure, we take a close look at the rest of the vehicles on this trip before we head to new heights and see just who was brave enough to take on one of the biggest dunes in the area. Stay tuned for that and a whole lot more sand action right here on your very own Your 4x4.
Now our question for the week comes from Michael Markham, and Michael wants to know, when he's installing driving lights, which side of the car should he put the pencil beam on? Now that's a great question, and I think Sean O'Donnell from Lightforce will be able to answer that one.
Personally, I think that the best way you can do it is to have a set of driving lights that you can have interchangeable lenses which let you mix the lighting pattern to suit the type of terrain that you're travelling on. Typically we start off with 2 spots, and if a little bit more spread's required, we put a combo or perhaps a wide lens on the off-driver's side, and then try the spot straight ahead on the driver's side. That gives the best line of vision from the driver's perspective. Alternatively, it's quite valid to put on perhaps 2 combos or a combo and wide, particularly up in the high country or in tight, windy conditions. You might find that you'd like to put 2 combo lenses on there. So it's great having a lighting system that lets you really configure it to suit the terrain that you are driving on.
For asking that question, you've won yourself a Piranha Clamp It. All entries go into the running for the Wholesale Automatics full automatic transmission kit, including a heavy-duty valve body, converter lockup switch and temperature gauge. A Lightforce HID 50-watt set of 170mm strikers. The Black Widow premium awning and the RFI antenna kit. Driving an automatic 4-drive off-road can be downright dangerous. But for all you auto owners, help is now at hand. The auto experts at Wholesale Automatic Transmissions now offer complete 4x4 and off-road kits for most popular 4-wheel drives. If you need to improve your towing capabilities, need more control for descents, or just want your auto beefed up for improved performance, then contact Wholesale Automatic Transmissions and they'll ship what you need worldwide. Check the website for details. Does your diesel smoke, lack power or have poor fuel economy? Then you need the Berrima Diesel treatment. Fine-tuning diesels since 1956, the Berrima Diesel technicians are Australia's leading diesel wizards. From a turbo installation to a high-tech dyno tune, when you think diesel, think Berrima Diesel. Visit thedieselexperts.com and make an appointment for more power, more torque and better fuel economy. If you drive a 4-wheel drive with or without a dual battery kit, then it's time to upgrade. Modern vehicles and modern battery technologies require smart electronics, and the Piranha Off-Road Products DBE 140 dual battery controller has all the smart grunt you will need packed into an affordable and tiny package. Priced at just $170, the Piranha DBE 140 is the smart choice in dual battery management. For more information on how you can stay charged, visit piranhaoffroad.com.au.
First in the running this week is this GQ Patrol, looking very neat and tidy out on an Easter trip to Lightning Ridge. Next is this 70 series farm ute, which has travelled most of Australia over the last 17 years. This photo was taken up the Cape while giving the lockers a good workout. Now this Bronco sure is one sweet looking rig, and with the worked 351 and 35s, it's lots of fun to drive. This shot was snapped at Cambolda in Western Australia. Next is this dependable and capable Hilux, out for a fishing trip to Bribie Island with the family over from England. And last is this Mitsubishi Delica on a trip to Southwest Rocks. Stuck in the soft sand on an incoming tide, it was just a quick and simple recovery before continuing on for the day.
If you've just seen your photo, be the first to email Danny at your4x4.com.au and you'll win the Projector DC20 12 volt to 12 volt charger. All photos go into the major draw of a Kmart rear bar, a Berrima DP chip and a Travel Buddy oven. Check the website for full details.
This morning we've left Portland with a nice little drive into the sand dunes, driven down past Swan Lake, and down over the top of the sand dunes there you see a magnificent view of what the sand dunes have to offer us. We've brought the Prado down today to give it another run out into the sand over here. We've seen it in the high country and it's always worked well through those sort of areas. We'll have a great time with playing with it in the sand and enjoying what it has to offer us.
This is my Triton. It's an MN Triton, Mitsubishi of course. Thought my car was all decked out. I had the big tyres, they're wide, chunky, and I found myself getting stuck more times than anybody else on this trip. Felt a little bit down and I couldn't work out why I was the one being left and holding everybody up. But the camaraderie of the group, they got behind us and they worked it out. I'd been using my rear diff lock. You can't use a rear diff lock on the sand. So I learned something. So the last half an hour of the trip, I was actually able to join in with them properly, keep up with them, got up some of the bigger hills on the way out, got out here, and I felt a little bit better. We had a great time. They certainly solved my problems and that, and I can't wait to come back here next time.
Hi, my name's Matt from ARB at Regency Park in Adelaide, who have been kind enough to let me bring my own personal vehicle down on this trip with Simon and Miranda from YOUR4X4. It's new to me. It's a 2011 Toyota FJ Cruiser, based on the Prado, but with a little more four-wheel driving bent to it. Today we're down at the Portland Sand Dunes, which is a fantastic opportunity to go sand driving. This area is managed by the Portland Dune Buggy Club. They do a fantastic job of making sure that you can balance recreational four-wheel driving with the local parks and wildlife. We've come down here just out of Portland. We've got a wide variety of vehicles here. We've all got slightly different setups.
Morning, it's Jason from Light Force Australia. We're here in Portland today, just driven down from Portland to the sand dunes. I've done quite a bit of sand driving, being a keen fisherman myself. Today I've got the Light Force vehicle. It's a D40 Nissan with a 2-inch lift, so it's fairly stock standard. So for the people that have the day-to-day driver, don't be shy. You can certainly come down here and use your day-to-day driver in an event like this.
Hi, I'm Andrew from Berrima Diesel DP Chip. Well, here we are at the Portland Sand Dunes. It's been a pretty long trip for me to get here, but I can tell you what, just from coming over the last hill, it really looks fantastic. We've got our trusty Nissan Pathfinder, which has been pretty much on every show I think that's ever been around on YOUR4X4 TV. Done some great trips, still pretty standard. We'll probably build it up soon. Obviously we've got one of our DP chip systems on the vehicle and a lot of data log recording gear because again, every trip we go on we spend a lot of time on development. So the more data we can gather, the better we can get the product out there in the end.
Headed in through the back to an extremely large sand dune. It was actually quite intimidating. You come up over a relatively flat section that's high up and you can see right over Swan Lake and the Portland Bay, and it's a brilliant sort of vista. But then you get to the edge of this dune and it just drops. It was quite intimidating, I must admit. Simon ended up going down it first, proved to everybody that it was just fine, and I ended up following in the FJ, and it was a bit of a ride, I can tell you that much.
Going down, almost sheer down. I had my gut turning just watching them go down the hill. And then they turned around and I had the guts to get back up the hill. My hat's off to them. Being a beginner, I left it to the experts this time. I might have a go next time.
Yeah, I love the North, there's no debate. I'm not talking about the real estate. Something in the landscape that works its way inside you like a lover sleeping silently.
Most of us got to the top, but we just couldn't get over that lip, so we had to be towed over. We've all had a fantastic day and really appreciate Simon and Miranda inviting us along. If you're ever down Portland and you've got a four-wheel drive, I highly recommend you get down to the Portland Sand Dunes. Spend a day, spend half a day, but get down here and have a great day. Don't forget your permits because they are essential for these sand dunes. The local sand buggy fraternity do look after the place very well, so please make sure you get your permits.
If you're anywhere within striking distance of this area, anybody who came on this trip could easily recommend it. It's well worth it. Plenty of great accommodation around here. There's plenty of things to see and do, whether you're a four-wheel driver, a nature lover, or you just like a relaxing time away from home and work. It's a beautiful spot, and you've definitely got to come and visit it at some point.
I'd like to thank Simon and Miranda Christie, YOUR4X4, Four-Wheel Drive TB and Pro Tips, for allowing me to come along on this great trip. We've had a lot of fun. I can't wait to come back. Thank you once again.
What a great day in total. I think rocking up here when we had rain and wind and a bit of stuff, and we get here and clouds all disappeared and the blue sky came out.
It was just fantastic, wasn't it? And coming over that hill before we got onto the dunes here was just spectacular.
Victoria, we're not renowned for four-wheel driving in our sand or beaches or anything like that, because we're not allowed to, and this is one place where you can come to.
There's no doubt about it.
Mate, I've had an absolute ball.
Will we be back?
I'd love to come back there. I reckon we've got to come back down here. Why would you not? I mean, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Plenty to do. I mean, we've got some of the cars stuck today. A few issues, tyre pressures, adjusting them and all those sorts of things. And I think the most important part is everyone's had a good, safe time with our sand flags, having a lot of time with all the different types of cars. Great time. Don't forget, you've got to register to use the Dune Buggy Club. You just can't come in here. And but that's easy to do. And have fun.
In the coral sea, and I do believe.
Well viewers, a big thank you to my wife Miranda, who supports me in all of my four-wheel drive dreams and adventures. A big thanks to the team behind Four-Wheel Drive TV, YOUR4X4 and Simon Christie's Four-Wheel Drive Pro Tips. Liam, Andy, Hamish, Enrico and Matt. And all of the sponsors who support YOUR4X4. And of course, not forgetting the man himself, Danny Sparks Cousins, who's been looking after all of the YOUR4X4 competitions. I'm Simon Christie. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of YOUR4X4, and we look forward to your company next week when we take on the Victorian High Country around Woods Point.
Now, we all thought that our trip was over and the trusted Land Rover had no problems the whole weekend, but have a look, the bonnet's up here on the side of the road. Poor old Dennis been waiting for us. Let's get it fixed.
One broke me down on the roadside, and I think we can have a lot of business.
Now that is the end of this week's episode. Let's get back on the road.